Personally, I prefer to track sessions and customer information with a database. It's a bit more complex to do, but you have much more control over the data and can save the data more securely in a more organized manner for longer. The key, literally, to managing session data in this manner is the cookie value, that unique value that we set in the cookie. This becomes the unique key in the database. So let's take a look at a couple of session management functions that I've created and used before. The first function creates the cookie if it does not exist, and if it does, then it extends the expiry date. That way, I can have the cookie expire X amount of time after the user was last active. First, we retrieve the cookie value from the superglobal cookie array. If that value has a length of less than 1, then we assume that there was no previous cookie set. If that's the case, first we create our unique key, and then we set the expiry value. In this case, 6 hours from the time that the cookie was set. Next, we set the cookie. We have our name, our value, our expiry, available everywhere, and we use the superglobal server value for HTTP host as a domain, which should give us the current domain that the customer is accessing with. And of course, we set secure or non-secure to 0, meaning we can retrieve that cookie in either a secure or non-secure connection. We then set the cookie superglobal with our cookie name and value. That way we can access it immediately in the rest of our script. We have to do this because when a cookie is set, you cannot immediately retrieve the cookie information until you click on the next page. So here, since I know exactly what the cookie info is, since I set it, I make sure it is available on the page. Just a little hack, but one you'll find very useful. Finally, I clean up my variables from the cookie settings. I want to show you an example of what I mean by you cannot grab your session information immediately after it's been set. Let's go back to what we had in our previous chapter. Our PHP session variables. So here what we did was that session start. Now, because that creates a cookie, what we should be able to do is print out the value in our cookie superglobal. Because that's where all of our cookie information is stored. So let's see just exactly what happens when we do this. First thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove that cookie. So we're starting with a fresh go of it. There's our cookie. It's removed. So now, when I refresh this page, you can see no value available, but the cookie is there. Again, that's because on this page, when a cookie is being set, that information is not immediately available. However, if we go to our next page and we print that information out, rather than our session information here, you'll be able to see that our PHP session ID is indeed there. So that's an example of what I mean by when you immediately set a cookie, its value is not available in the same page that you set it, unless you do what we've done here, where we actually manually set that value.